Hello, my name is Stacy, and this is Powerhouse Chat, where I interview entrepreneurs, small business owners, artists, thought leaders, and just overall interesting people. Today, I'm going to be interviewing Tennille Richardson-Norah. She is a small business owner, licensed cosmetologist, cosmetology teacher, and she has literally been traveling the world educating stylists about textured hair and many other things. If you would love to know more about Tennille and her journey, please keep on watching. So I know you as a stylist and an educator, um, but you have a lot of things that you've accomplished, a lot of things that you've done in your life and your career that I would love to hear about. I would love to hear about your journey, everything that your beginning to what you have going on right now.
hmm
I looked up some information on you just to have some background, and I saw a video of you. You did Fashion Week.
hmm
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Did you go to New York for that or?
Well, that was here.
Oh, that was okay.
Yeah, they started doing the Fashion Week in Chicago. So I
Oh,
really
okay.
wanted to, get involved with that.
Cool.
That was probably in 2017 or 2018, and
Okay.
they do it every year. There's a organization called Fashion Bar Chicago, and they
Okay.
get local designers and put together shows in different locations here in Chicago. Um, I was always interested in hair. I had a Miss Piggy doll, and I taught myself to braid on the Miss Piggy doll in high school. I would, friends would pay me to do their hair, and I was raised by, on and off again single mom. So, I kind of became very independent and would, try to help her with the things that she needed help with. So I always, made it a point to try to earn my own money. Um, as far as going into beauty school, I in high school I did really well. My grades were good. I had honor roll, but I wasn't really motivated. Things were just too easy for me. Um, and I think I needed something to really drive me to do the best that I could because it was just easy to get good grades. I didn't have to study that well. I mean that much. Um, so, and in high school, I didn't have the guidance that some people have as far as like, what to do as far as after you graduate. I knew I wanted to go to beauty school, but I had no clue what a trade school or technical school or vocational school was. So when we were talking to universities, I remember I wanted to go to UIC, and I was talking to one of the recruiters, and I was asking them if they had a cosmetology program, which is, now it's funny, but at the time I didn't know that, there was a trade school. So, and I was interested in studying nursing at the time. Come to find out, they didn't have a cosmetology program because you have to go to a trade school in order to study cosmetology. And I wasn't quite sure exactly what I wanted to study in college. I started at a junior college in the South Suburban College, and it turned out that they had a partnership with one of the cosmetology schools here, John Amico. And I did, I think, maybe 1 or 2 semesters. And at first I was studying nursing, then I went into accounting, and I'm like, I'm not sure what I want to do. So I ended up um, taking a break from the classes at the junior college, and um, I enrolled in cosmetology school. So, it took about a year. I finished up and started working in salons. And at the same time, I would work, I was in school. Um, I skipped over a part that's pretty important. I had uh, a baby right before I graduated from high school. So I was a single mom, and that was my motivation. That's what really drove me, just to accomplish the things that I needed to accomplish and set an example for my son. So that's what really drives me to do the things that I do. So graduated from cosmetology school, worked in the salons as I'm in school to get my degree. I finished my bachelor's degree. I actually graduated from Governor State University the same year that my son graduated from kindergarten. So we had a bunch of graduations that year, which is pretty cool. And I started working at what did I do? A cosmetology school. I got married, had another baby, get, um, started working at a cosmetology school because we had moved away. And um, that was really inspiring to me to see how I was able to motivate the students and, put some people on a different path than the path that they were on. I think I'm very empathetic and can kind of, read people pretty well. So I typically gravitate to people who other people don't really understand, and I can kind of connect with them and motivate them. I did some substitute teaching at one point, and then um, I applied for a job at a hair product manufacturer, um, and that was, I think, 2004. I got that job as my first job out of college in customer service, and I progressed pretty quickly into marketing, product development. I did, negotiating ads and, photo shoots and, trade shows and education. And just some of the people that I met along the way working for that company were, they really inspired me. And I saw that there were needs in our community and for textured hair and for Black hair that were unmet. Most of the salons that I worked in were corporate salons. They were really professional. They had really good education programs. And I saw that there weren't those types of programs for textured hair. So I said, well, I want to, fill that gap. So I decided to start a company that focused on education. And at the time, that company was Serenity Group. And I started doing independent classes and bringing in educators and product lines, hair color brands, and teaching trends and technique, but also incorporating things like um, financial services, things that a lot of cosmetologists don't realize that they need. And I would bring in professionals to just do a small segment in certain areas, whether it's financial services, nutrition, and things like that. So that was my start with education. Did end up going and working for another company, another hair product company, um, and I was there for 9 years, I believe. I did same thing, trade shows and education of product descriptions, product development, testing products, consumer insight, um, and that along during that during that portion of my career, that's when social media became really big, and the focus for those companies sw- switched from education and trade shows and in-store promotions to social media. So they kind of phased out the department that I was in at the time, and that's when I went back into consulting and doing my own classes. So having to pivot when it came to that part of my career was was challenging. There are times where you're doing well, and then you also have times where it takes a little bit for you to get back and find which direction to go to. So um, I decided to go back into a salon, and I, which I'm currently in that salon, but I also look into like what my goals are when it comes to choosing to do things like that. So I went in the salon I work in now is an Aveda salon. They have a really great education program. There's online education, there's professional education at the Aveda Institute that we have access to. And I've always, put myself in those types of environments. It's a really good team environment. Everyone there, there's not like competition, or everyone helps each other no matter what level, and that's what I really like about that environment. So I look at that as like inspiration and a resource for what I'm trying to do. So I started, with the independent classes. In 2017, I launched a the company Beauty Probe, which is the brand that I'm currently marketing my education under, Beauty Probe LLC, and we do color classes. I have a team of people that I work with that specialize in different areas. We've done color, we've done highlights and lightening, bleach and tone, cutting, um, hair extensions, locks, lock start care and maintenance. And I just try to focus on, the things that are on trend, but also healthy hair and scalp. And I've also partnered with a salon where I work, and they have a really good program where they bring in students to work as assistants, and then he will cover their training. So he puts them through a really vigorous training on cut color, and recently textured hair, which is my portion of the training. So I started to train the new talent at the salon, and I put them through 6 weeks, which was what I would call a crash course in textured hair. So I, it was a hands-on. I started with just a presentation and just kind of walk through texture sensitivity and just talk to them about language to use, because it's a diverse salon. I was the only Black stylist there when I started. Well, there was one other part-time stylist. She worked one day, but I was the only Black stylist there. But they're really, good. I mean, it's in a really diverse community, and they're really good about, being open and understanding. And, the owner has always wanted to have his stylists be very diverse and have been able to do any hair type, whether it's, a men's cut, straight hair, curly hair, wavy hair. He's always wanted that. And he just didn't have the resources to make it happen. So with the most recent group of new talent, I was able to train them. So they were, there's one young lady from Ethiopia, and then the other two are white stylists. So I really took them through the culture, the history. I made suggestions for readings, Hair Story. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that book, but it talks about the history of Black people in America and just the journey from slavery, and how significant our hair is for us. So that was part of their reading requirement for the training. And I just talked to them about being sensitive when you say certain things, and understanding when it comes to textured hair. There's no such thing as good hair or bad hair, and you have to be patient. And a lot of times, some of the girls will shy away from textured hair because it takes so long to do certain things. And I tell them, if you have the patience to do a balayage, where I see some of the girls' books are blocked off for 4 and 5 hours to do balayage, then you can do textured hair. So they're doing well. I have to kind of be diligent in making sure that the front desk, which we have a front desk that schedule our appointments and manage our books. So I make sure that the front desk is being fair of how they book the clients. Like if it's a walk-in client with textured hair, they really have to book clients with them, and there's a pricing structure for those who have less experience than others. So if someone doesn't, can't afford to pay a senior stylist to do their hair, then there's the option of going with a new stylist, and their prices are lower. So yeah, it's an ongoing process. I'm working with, the team to make sure that they get the experience. And, I tell them they have to use the skills that they learned in order to, develop them and, improve their timing and improve their techniques. So um, that's where I am with, education. And we have now that those new stylists are taking clients, we have a new set of assistants that will shampoo, and they wipe down the chairs and commonly used surfaces. They do towels. They will blow dry and shampoo for us, and they have to go through that program for quite some time before they're able to go through the training. So they're scheduled for training in September, and we'll go through the program again. But I also bring in my team. So there's one person who does the cutting. Um, there's another one who does thermal straightening, and we cover clipper cutting. I do the natural styles, the twist sets, the rod sets, the shingling, wash and goes, and detangling. So that's exciting. That's what I love to do, and I'm finding that I guess there's certain times of year where that's in more demand than others. So we tried to do some classes recently, didn't really get much traction, so I kind of postponed them, but we will get started again in the spring, and then the new talent at the salon will be trained probably September. So, and then we do online as well. So we'll offer a Zoom option for those who aren't able to come and, physically be a part of the class. We do offer a Zoom registration where they can, watch. And also in Illinois, you can get CE hours, which is something that my company offers. You can get a certain number of CE hours online. So we offer that. Um, what else? I also realized that there are quite a few things that are um, in need, or there are holes in certain areas where textured hair uh, just kind of make do. And what I did recently, I went on vacation with a girlfriend, and I had braids, and when I would shower, I would, want to cover my braids. And I'm sure, if you have textured hair, you've done this too. My braids are so big, a normal shower cap doesn't fit on it. So I would take a grocery bag and cover my hair in the shower, and she would laugh at me. I'm like, you do this. Like, who doesn't? Like, what do you cover your hair with when you're in the shower? And I think there's certain topics that, we don't want to discuss publicly. But like, what other options do you have when you have big hair? You have, a sew-in, and a regular shower cap doesn't fit. And, those are things that we just kind of accept, and it's not normal. Like, we should have products that we can use for things like that.